I hope you had a good meditation.
Yeah, thank you, Rashmi.
So we will continue the book. I think you will be joining for the first time, right? So we were discussing about the Book of Mirdad by Mikhail Naimy. So the book is about a strange story of a monastery which was once called the Ark. Like we have many stories, no? Like the world is ending and the boat, helps them and from the flood and few people are being, rescued, these kind. So similarly here in this book, author explains about the Noah family, which has been, rescued and they have given upon to protect this monastery and once it is called as Ark at the mountain. And Sam was the last, ownership of that monastery. And always there will be a companion of nine. So whenever there is a uh, death of anyone, then they would have another person to their community, so that the sum up is always the number is nine. Okay. So what happens is one person's death occurs, so they want to compensate or substitute with a new person. So a stranger comes in who's really in a very bad shape, shabby looking, torn clothes, hardly any clothes. So the senior member of the ark, whose name is Shamdan, who is high-headed, egoistic person, he didn't want him to join as a companion in the monastery. He said, "You can be a servant to join the monastery, but not as a companion." He agreed and he entered in the monastery. So he was asked, different kinds of work to do, and he silently would do work without any utterance of, defensive or reaction or anything. He was silently working whatever work has been given upon him, task. And the monastery's wealth and fame and everything started increasing. So in his Shamdan, the senior member of the ark or the monastery, had somewhere the feeling that after the stranger came as a servant, then only there is a flourishment and prosperity. But his egoistic mind will never acknowledge that directly to him, and he would be always seen as a servant. He would always take an opportunity to judge him or scold him and these kinds. So how this man, the stranger, his name is now Mirdad. So how he transforms the people of that monastery and how the everything changes and he gives the spiritual wisdom. That is what the book is talking about. So high in the Milky Mountains upon the altar peak stands the ruins of the ark, built to preserve the new life. After the great flood, the sanctuary was ordained to hold exactly nine companions, as I told. The ark has become a burden of dead because of wealth and authority, wrong authority and dogma. So now this Mirdad would emerge to strip away all the delusions and launch a new ark. So what happened is he remained silent, Mirdad, for 7 years, tight-lipped and continuously working whatever the other companions said as a servant. One day there was a complete arguments between Shamdan, the senior ark, and someone. And that argument led to go to Mirdad and for solution. And that's when he opened his mouth and revealed himself as a divine person and named Mirdad. And from there on, the spiritual knowledge imparting to these companions started. So when everybody asks why you remain silent for these many years, this is the right time to speak. and provide you, impart the knowledge of wisdom, spiritual wisdom. So then the first thing he says is the regarding the veil and sealing of the lips. He says everything what we see is through five senses, illusionary. So you need to understand the words what we speak is of pure nature, you know, and what you see is of pure nature. Otherwise, everything is a illusion. So this is what he said. Then in the second chapter, he says, I. I is the word. I, because we take this world through the five senses only. We understand this world through the five senses. But we are divine. But we separate ourselves with the divine and we think that I means I as an identity. Okay, I as me doing everything. I have this position or I have this much money or I have a power in the society. So everything you feel that I as an identity do. We don't surrender anything to the divine or because we think we are separate from the divine, right? Consciousness is everywhere, right? So we are the consciousness, the divine consciousness, but we separate ourselves with all the labels, the identity, positions, power. So we see the world through those eyes only, through those lens. So he says the thoughts, whatever we get as a I thinker, I as an identity, it is a sea of thoughts, and that is divided from the consciousness or the divine consciousness. So those thoughts as always stinking, like a pricking of the thorns. It's not good, right? That thoughts, because it is not surrendering to the divine. You are not considering yourself as the divine. When you surrender everything, the work you are doing, the food you are eating, everything for the divine consciousness, then that time it will be always on the right path. Right? The second thing is feeling. So whatever feeling, like we say in office, suppose the boss relationship, if not good, you say anything, oh, he's not nice, he is that, or she is like this. So from the thoughts, then the feelings, well of emotions. Because again, it is coming from the I, labeled identity I. So all the pricking thorns that remain in our heart. Then the third is the universe. So from the thoughts, feelings, and whatever we see in the world or whatever we experience in the world is based on all those thoughts and feelings. So how you separate yourself from the divine and how your label and identity and how your words and feelings are, that's how your universe will be. Right? So that is what he says. As is your consciousness, so is your I. As is your I, so is your world. Right? That's why each people have different experiences in the world because all comes through your mind, the way you think, the way the deeds will come, the way the deeds will come. That's how the feeling, actions. Right? So that's the chapter of the creator. So he says, I will teach you how to, you know, remove the poison from your eye and bring you the taste of sweetness, the understanding, sweetness of understanding, so that I will draw the poison from eye and you may taste the sweetness of understanding. So that is like merging your identity with the divine consciousness. When you feel everything divine, there is no separation, then you see that oneness consciousness. So there will be no I and me. The other person is also the same reflection of you and anyone around flora, fauna, non living things, living things. Everything has the divine consciousness. So you will not feel that separation. If you don't feel that separation, but you and me are one, then that sweetness will spread. There will not be any poison. Okay. So we'll see next second chapter, the Holy Triumph, tomorrow. If you have anything to ask or anything, you can ask yourself.
No, Rashmi, this is like a yeah, interesting book. I think Book of
Yeah,
Mirdad. Yeah. Okay.
the Book of Mirdad.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. He's
Quite
a
a
he's a Lebanese American philosopher, mystic, you know. So the book is little poetic and deep philosophical meaning in a poetry form he has written.
okay.
So we need to reread to understand the in-depth meaning of it. Yeah. So that's, so he was serving
Yeah. Yeah.
the army in America and many other places, and finally he decided to come back to Lebanon, his beautiful nature place, house, and that's how he started writing book. Around 30 some books he has written. Out of this English version, the Book of Mirdad became famous. So he, along with his friend Khalil Gibran, he's also a spiritual and mystical book author. So they both formed a society of movement, to bring out
Okay.
this treasure, hidden gems of spiritualism to this part. To the
Okay.
story, he
Okay.
tried to explain everything.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Okay. Good. We shall end the session if no more questions.
No, no, no questions as of now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So time for your dinner, or how is it? You're
Yes, yes,
done.
yes, yes.
Okay. How are the birds? They were okay in your absence.
Yes, 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 they were okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure.
My friends took care of half of it.
Okay.
I made, took care of, and then my
Good
friend.
to know. Good to know. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, Rashmiji.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
thanks. We'll catch up soon
Thank you
then.
for
Yeah.
joining.
Take care.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Thank